everyone, my name is Claire, and today we are going to read The Little Sleeping Beauty. It's written by Brenda Grace Pryor and illustrated by Alice Hausner. Let's get into it. One day at sunrise, when the moon had faded and the brown hills were turned to gold, a little boat came bobbing across the shiny sea of Galilee. And on the shore, a crowd of people, like a rushing tide, ran down to welcome Jesus. Many of them were poor, and many old and sick, barefoot beggars dressed in rags, and noisy children, pushing, shoving at the fine ladies, stepping on the toes of wealthy merchants, craning their necks to see the quiet man, whose face was turned to greet them, and whose eyes were full of pity. And Jesus, standing tall among his robed disciples, stretched out his gentle hands to heal the blind, the sick, and the lame. Then suddenly, pushing his way through the crowd, came a well-dressed man, Jairus, president of a Jewish church, a great man known to all. The people, bowing, stood aside, letting him pass. Then Jairus, in his splendid robes, knelt down in the dust at the feet of Jesus. "Master," he said, "my little girl, my only child, is ill, and if you do not come at once and heal her, she will surely die." As he spoke, his face was wrinkled up with grief. So Jesus went with Jairus, and the people followed to see what he would do. I bet that would be sad to know your only child might die. That must be pretty sad, huh? But as they walked along the dry, hard path beside the deep blue sea, a man came to tell Jairus that his little girl was dead, and there was no need to trouble Jesus anymore. But Jesus said, "Have no fear, only have faith. She will be well." And taking his friends, Peter, James, and John, he followed Jairus to the big white house. Not the White House, just a big White House. Shaded by palm trees from the noonday sun. Everyone was crying and wailing. The mother was sobbing. Those are just different forms of showing sadness and showing, the tears that people have. Her little girl would be there no more, to play in the bright garden, singing like a bird beside the silver fountain. That's probably the fountain and the little girl. The tall, white-robed stranger, without so much looking at the child, said calmly, "Do not weep. The little girl's not dead. She is asleep." I bet that's Jesus saying that to everyone. That's probably the little girl. "Asleep?" the people laughed. "Ha ha ha ha," as if the doctors did not know better than he. But Jesus sent them all outside. Then, with the parents at his side and his 3 friends following, he went into the low, cool room where the little maiden lay, which is the little girl right here, as well as Jesus and friends. "My child," he said, and gently took her hand. "I say to you, arise." And the little girl sat up, and then she danced around the room and kissed her parents, who were now crying for joy. Yay! There's the little girl, and like I said, dancing, and her parents being happy. Yay! Then Jesus said, "Give her some food." He asked Jairus and his wife to tell no one what he had done, but others knew and told. And many people heard how Jesus brought the little girl to life, to play and sing again around the silver fountain in her happy parents' garden. And I think that's the end of our story here today. Just to go over what we learned about today was one, the many miracles or ways that Jesus healed people that we can't necessarily do. And yeah, he was able to heal that little girl, and yeah, while it will be sad when we die or when we know someone who has died, the thing is, we'll be in heaven. If we believe in Jesus, then we will go to heaven, and that's a pretty good thing to be happy for, and something that we hope to see, and that will give us great joy.